Hi guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guide. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before we get into this video, if you have been enjoying the channel, enjoying the videos that I've been putting up and things like that, and you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe and like any of the videos that you genuinely enjoy, because it helps the channel grow. And I am looking to do that. I want to try and get the channel up a little bit bigger than what it is, and try and reach a little bit more people. So if you're enjoying it, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and also comment on the videos as well. The comments are the best part of these videos. It's not actually me making the video, it's the actual comments that you guys leave, which gets a discussion going. And actually, that brings me to the topic of this particular video, and the reason why I want to make this video is because with the color pencils that I just did a review of, we were all discussing about the Lightfast rating and what have you that was in that tin. Some people were saying that they thought it was kind of like back to front, which it very well could have been. But obviously I can only just do the review based on what I see. I can't speculate on whether a thing is right or wrong. But one thing that came up was, and this comes up a lot, I get a lot of emails, messages through social media platforms about this particular subject, about light fastness. And that obviously came up with the color set due to the legend being back to front and that type of thing. But one thing in particular that I want to also address is artists creating their own light fast testing, and the relevance of that. Does it actually help the artist? Is the information that you collate from that accurate? Is it going to help you in the long run with your work that you're going to be doing? So let's get into that now, and I will give you my opinion, and then you guys leave some comments down below and we'll get into some sort of discussion about this, because I think it's very important. My biggest concern is that when young artists or new artists come into the colour pencil medium, they get frightened, or any medium actually, they get kind of like put off or frightened about the fact that they hear this term light fast all the time. And light fast relates to 9 times out of 10 expensive products. Certainly whenever I first came into the colour pencil world, that's what I heard. And I would listen to the various artists that were out there at the time, which there wasn't an awful lot of. And I put it upon myself. No artist said, you must use light fast pencils, but you just hear it all the time, and you hear artists talking about the relevance of it and how important it is, and you kind of like place the pressure on yourself. And I just want to try and make sure that, like I say, young artists, new artists, they don't put themselves under that unnecessary pressure. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. So first of all, let me just explain light fastness for anybody that's new. So light fastness means whenever you lay down a colour, that it's not going to fade when it's hung up in a frame or something like that, and the sunlight is affecting it and would make it fade. There are currently 2 standards which colour pencil companies, fabric companies, whatever, any company that is dealing with colour will have to at some point address, and that is the ASTM standard or the Blue Wool standard. I'll have a thing coming up here where you can see the difference between the 2 standards and how they relate to each other. The ASTM, which is the American system, they have a scale of LF1 to LF5, LF1 being the most light fast product in the set, and the Blue Wool is quite a bit different. It's from 1 to 8, and 8 and 7 is the equivalent to the highest light fast, and 1 is the lowest light fast setting. Now, the reason why we pay big money for Lightfast products is because the companies themselves in order to get their product accredited by one of these two systems, tested and all the rest of it, it costs these companies a lot of money. In the case of Derwent, whenever they were coming out with the Derwent Lightfast pencils, their biggest competitor, the pencil that they wanted to compete against most, was the Caran Luminance. Now, up until the Derwent Lightfast pencil, all of Derwent's products were done on the blue wool scale. I spoke to the CEO of Derwent years back about this, and one of the reasons, not the reason, but one of the reasons why they broke that mould and done the ASTM rating for the Derwent Lightfast pencils was because if they were going to compete directly with the Caran Luminance, they thought it would be better to have the same Lightfast rating system as opposed to just using the blue wool system. It would have been more difficult for artists to look at the sets and compare them and make out whatever it was that they wanted to do. So that was the reason why they went with the ASTM system. Now that cost Derwent an awful lot of money because they could have done their blue wool testing here in the UK, which would have cost them money, but not as much. And I think I'm right in saying that Derwent had done their blue wool testing. They had all the apparatus and stuff like that to do in the factory that they used to have, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So when I was researching about light fastness and how the process is done, I contacted both of the ASTM and a company here in the UK that does the blue wool, and I spoke to individuals that were involved in that process and asked them, why is it important for companies to use like your system in order to get a Lightfast test when a lot of artists will just do their own testing? And once they explained it to me, it made a lot of sense. And this is why I want to ask this question about the relevance of artists doing their own Lightfast testing. So LF1 means that LF1, or in the blue wool scale 8 or 7, means that that particular product is Lightfast for roughly 100 plus years. So that's the accredited information that either one of those systems give the artist. Now, obviously, they can't like leave a swatch out on a windowsill for 100 years and then get the results of that. It wouldn't work like that. So they have computers and various lighting systems that are all computerized and what have you, and the pigments are put into this system, this replication of light that they can replicate and emulate with software and all the rest of it. So what they can do is they can make sure that the testing is indirect sunlight, that it's a certain number of hours per day. They also take an average of the light. So the sunlight in Arizona in comparison to the sunlight here in the UK, especially in the north of England, is very, very different. Same as the sunlight, the level of sunlight and the intensity of sunlight that you would get in, say, South Africa. It's all very, very different around the world. So what they do is they take an average, and that's how they conduct their Lightfast testing. So that brings me to the relevance of an artist doing their own Lightfast testing. So if, say, for example, I took that color set and I done a swatch and covered the bottom half of each pigment, set it in my windowsill for a month or even 6 months, I would get a result. And most likely, the result I get would vary greatly from the result somebody doing the exact same test with the exact same pencils in Arizona would get. Because even in the summer here in the UK, we don't often get really, really super hot days. We might get 2 weeks worth of sunshine in the 8 weeks holidays that the kids have from school. And then now that we're in September here, I'm hearing my big woolly coat and stuff like that. They're keeping warm because it's cold here now. So the results would be very, very different. Now, therein lies the question about the relevance of doing it. So my results would probably show that the pencils are quite light fast. Somebody else doing the exact same test in Arizona, that would probably fade quite quickly. And so they would say, no, they're not very light fast at all. They all faded. So who benefits from that information? Does the artist themselves, who do the test primarily for themselves, do they really benefit from that information? Because it's so wildly different. I suppose they would benefit from it if the only reason being that, say, the artist who's in Arizona was only going to sell their original work to clients in Arizona. That would probably make sense. But if they're going to sell their work worldwide and stuff like that, it's very difficult for them to make the claim that, they did the Lightfast test and this was what the results came up as, because if it was sent off to a different country, the actual artwork, it would be a very different result in terms of fading. So with regards to other companies who use their own in-house Lightfast testing, they will come up with their own scales, whether it's stars or crosses or numbers or whatever it is. They come up with their own scales for the Lightfast rating that they have given their pencils. Now, herein lies one of the reasons why, if you're going to be selling your original artwork, it is best to use a product that has been ASTM tested or Blue Wool tested, because that product has been tested by one of the only two standards that we have that does Lightfast testing, and they will give you kind of like an insurance that this product is Lightfast for 100 plus years. And so when you go to sell your artwork and you give it to your client, you can tell them, because I'm sure there's a lot of clients probably don't even know anything about Lightfastness, but if you tell them what Lightfastness is and you've used Lightfast products, well, they're already interested in the artwork in any case. They love the look of it or whatever it is, or they've given you a commission. But now that you tell them that what you've used is Lightfast products and that it's going to stay bright and vibrant for 100 plus years, that just enhances their desire for the artwork. And you can confidently say that knowing that the products have been done by the ASTM or Blue Wool. Now, there was a bit of a controversy not that long back about the Holbein colour pencils. I spoke to Holbein on numerous occasions about what system they had used, and they had said that they had used the ASTM system, but they hadn't sent it off to Arizona, that they had done it in-house, and that they had got the equipment that was needed to do the ASTM testing in Japan. But then when I spoke to other people from Holbein about it, they had said that they had done their own in-house testing. It wasn't ASTM and it wasn't Blue Wool. So there was a little bit of controversy there. So when you look at the Holbein colour pencils and they have a Lightfast rating on them, can you confidently tell a client that those products are Lightfast? Do you see what I mean? Knowing that the product has been done by ASTM or Blue Wool gives you a certain amount of assurance that you can give your client as to the quality of the painting or drawing, whatever you want to call it, that you're going to give them. Now, in the case of doing your own Lightfast testing, you really shouldn't, in my opinion. I mean, it's absolutely fine to do it if that's what you want to do. But I don't think that you should then go off and tell a client that the product is Lightfast, because I could do a test of nearly every fugitive colour in any of the sets of pencils that you care to mention and put them on my windowsill here in the UK, and I can almost guarantee you that here in the northeast of England, It's not going to fade. There's not going to be a relevant level of sunlight, whether it's direct or indirect, that is going to change the composition of the pigment. It just probably won't happen. Not certainly over a month, maybe over 6 months, slightly, but I guarantee you the results that I would do would be completely different from the results somebody in Latin America would do, or somebody in Arizona would do, somebody in South Africa would do, or somebody in Australia would do. They're all very, very different. And those areas that I've just mentioned have got much, much higher levels and time spans as well of sunlight, as opposed to places in, say, like northern Germany or Russia, or the northern hemisphere, like even up around Quebec in Canada, or Alaska and places like that. It's all going to be very, very different. So that's why when artists are going to be doing their own original artwork, for me personally, I think it's important that you use a product that has been ASTM or Blue Wool rated in terms of the Lightfast. Now, before I wrap this up, I want to make it very clear to especially new artists and younger artists. If you use Lightfast pencils, like the Derwent Lightfast or the Caran d'Ache Luminance, which are beautiful pencils, but the artwork you do with those pencils is not going to be any significantly different from the artwork you would do with, say, like the Faber-Castell Red set that I done a review of, which there was 60 in the set, and they're like £10 or something like that. Very, very inexpensive pencils, but gorgeous pencils for the price. Some of the other budget range pencils that I've reviewed have given really beautiful results on the paper. The Lightfast pencils are not going to make your artwork any different, okay? The only thing that the Lightfast pencils are going to do is make sure that the artwork you've done will not fade if put into a frame and hung up on the wall. Now, so if you're just starting out, you're new to the medium and stuff like that, you might feel pressured. You might feel the pressure to go out and get those highly Lightfast pencils, which are, like I say, very expensive. Try not to fall into that trap. Learn the craft with budget range pencils. Once you get confident in it and you are happy with the ability that you have honed over whatever period of time, and you might be then ready to, you know what, I'm gonna start selling commissions. I'm gonna start doing commissions for people, whether it be pet portraiture or human portraiture, whatever it is. Once you get to that point, then you go out and get yourself the Derwent Lightfast pencils, or the Caran d'Ache Luminance, or the Van Gogh pencils, whatever it is that you want to use. But those pencils, if you're going to sell the original artwork, are vital. You've got to use those for selling the original artwork, especially if you want to make decent money and tell the client that it's all Lightfast. There is another way around that as well, which I've already spoke about in another video, which is doing prints. So if you want to do your artwork with your really, really inexpensive pencils, you can then take a digital photograph of that artwork, send it off to printers where they will use archival paper and archival inks, and so they will give you the Lightfast assurance that you need to sell. But it is a print, and so obviously a print is very, very different from an original piece of artwork. So you've got to weigh up all of those different options that are available to you. But that's the key. These are all options that are available to you, and you do not have to feel pressured into getting highly Lightfast pencils. So let me know, guys, in the comments section down below what you think of this, whether there is any legitimacy in doing your own Lightfast testing. You know, does it give you information that is helpful, or can it perhaps maybe hinder the work that you're going to do using the products that you've just tested? let me know in the comments section down below. Let me know if you've done your own Lightfast testing and how it turned out, where it is that you live. And maybe we might see somebody, so somebody from, say, Texas might have done a Lightfast test, and maybe somebody in the comments section can say if they live in like Norway or somewhere like that, that they done the Lightfast testing on the same pencils and they got very different results. So that would be really interesting to know. So let me know in the comments section down below, guys. Get a really good discussion going here. But the key thing is, I'm trying to make sure that younger artists, new artists, don't feel pressured into going out and buying these super expensive products because you may not need it. Also, if you've got any questions, if there's something that I haven't covered, leave it in the comment section down below and I'll definitely get back to answering that question. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. And also, by the way, guys, I'm not going to be around for the next week. I'm going over to Northern Ireland. I've not been over there since my dad's passing and his headstone has been put on the grave. So I want to go over and just spend a bit of time there and, you know, see the headstone and what have you. So I'm going to be away for about a week. But anyway, guys, thanks very much. Look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Bye.